Hello, I'm Micks Mowers and Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. Nothing more annoying when you finish cutting your grass last year, put your lawnmower away, nice and tidy, nice and clean, get it out again, and now the blinking thing won't start, or it's just mucking about. Revs are going up and down, it's misfiring, backfiring, or just not doing what it did when you put it away. Probably because of your fuel. I've seen an increase of about 90% of problems are caused by the ethanol in the E10 fuel especially. And it's just been increasing with carburetors, and more people are being pushed towards the battery powered stuff because of these carburetor problems. One simple cure for that is to drain your carburetor fully from fuel before you put it away, or use a non-alcoholic fuel, a bit like Aspen, and run that between the months of November through to February, and then go on to the normal E5 fuel after that. You'll have no problems, but leaving your fuel in over the winter, that's a big no-no. A lady's bought a lawnmower in for me today. It's pretty much brand new. She's only used it twice from brand new, put it away, got it out this year. It don't want to have it. So she brought it in for a quick little service. I'm trying to get it up and running, do it as quick as I can for you. So if your lawnmower is mucking about, this could be the video for you. Don't forget to check out Micks Mowers and Mower Man channel over here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and set your notifications for all. That way you'll be told next time I upload another video. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's get this little Mountfield out on the lawn, see what it's doing, then up on a bench and fixed. Up here. Right, so here's the lawnmower in question. It's a Mountfield HP41, and it is a year of, where have I hidden the years on these now? Let's have a quick look. It's made in Italy. Oh, they're hiding the dates. 2024. It was built on the 2nd of the 2nd, 2024. And it's just over a year old. But it's only been used once or twice. She says she put fresh fuel in. But I dare say it's probably not fresh fuel, it's probably the fresh fuel she had from last year. So let's give it a quick little, full of fuel. Loads of fuel. It's no pump, so it's automatic choke. So it should just start straight up, right? Well, she said it was mucking about, but it's got to come off choke yet. So we shall see. Because it's automatic choke, the machine's got to get warm. Once it gets warm, then the device will come off the choke via the exhaust, and it will then run on its normal way of running. But at the moment, it's not showing any signs. Let me come back to see if it does it once it's warmed up. Okay, so it's been running for about 5 minutes now, and it's not doing anything other than what it should be doing. But that's not to say it didn't do it for this morning or the other day. It might be that there's something in the carburetor that just stopped the problem. Now it's cured itself. But so it's got a few little tiny misses there. So it has got a little tiny hunt and surge issue. So we're going to get up on the bench, we're going to give a carburetor a clean, give it a service, get it done, and try and cure it. So I dare say it's bad fuel. Let's get it done. Right, little Mountfield HP hand propel 41. Now up on the bench. Small carburetor problem, I would say, nothing too big, but it is in for a full service as well. It won't need a lot of a service because it's only been used about twice. Air filter looks absolutely pristine, just wants a little bit of a blow off, and there's a pre-filter there too, as you can see. So that's all good. We go straight in for a carburetor clean first, okay. Reason being is I just want to make sure that we're running properly before we do anything else, and then I can get it to run up nice and warm, and then we can dump the oil out of it and give it an oil change. Because don't forget, lots of people, they buy a brand new lawnmower, they fill it up with oil, okay, to the desired point, and then that's it. It doesn't get another oil change pretty much in its whole life until it starts mucking about and it gets sent into a lawnmower repair place to have work done. But what you should be doing is following the manufacturer's guidelines, and most of them, not all, but most of them sort of say after about 5 hours of running, you should dump that oil and put fresh oil in, okay? But not all of them, but some say you don't ever have to replace any oil, just have to top it up, which I don't agree with. Taking these two nuts off, you can then see we've got an array of bits behind here which are holding us back from removing this airbox. There's a pipe here, it just comes off, okay? You take it all the way off if you want to, just remember where it goes. It goes onto there and it goes onto the box inside just there. That's where it sits. I'm going to put it onto there for now, just so I don't lose it. I've got the tiny gasket there as well. That went on that way. Just be mindful where they go because they've got holes that line up with holes on the carburetor. So these two holes here line up there and that one there. So that's no drama. We can sort that out, no problem. First thing to do would be to dump the fuel. And I recommend doing that on the majority of your lawnmowers, especially if you're just going to be storing them for over winter. Either run them dry and then try and get as much fuel out of the lawnmower as possible and drain them off. Now, one quick little tip I have here, with these little tiny lawnmowers or with big Hondas or anything with a bowl style carburetor, you have these little tiny nuts just here, okay? You can undo this one, that will drain pretty much most of it out, okay? But by undoing this bottom one, if you undo this bottom one, that will come off and all the fuel will drain out, okay? Just hold the bowl up whilst you're doing it and then it'll drain right out. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. First thing to do is make sure we've got a nice clean container. Now you may seem it'd be a bit weird why I want a clean container just to dump the fuel mix, is because I want to see if there's any water in the system. Because 9 times out of 10 these people are using E10 style fuel, which is an absorbent. It absorbs moisture from the atmosphere. That's what it does. And by absorbing the moisture from the atmosphere, it then allows the ethanol to break down, separate from the fuel, and that is what is causing the problems on these lawnmowers. So I'm going to drain the fuel out. I'll come back to you once I've done that. Okay, so all the fuel's now been drained and there is not one trace of water in there at all. The fuel smells okay. It doesn't smell brilliant, but it is okay. We now want to remove the linkages off of here. Now this doesn't have a governor spring like the old ones used to. It's got a governor arm, and this is your automatic choke mechanism here, which is like a rocker. Okay, that all that does is once that gets cold, that closes, and as the machine heats up, there's a little tiny wax pop the other side. When that melts, it loses some of its weight, and then it just opens this up, so it runs off of a full choke. So what I'm going to do now is get a bit closer, and then I'll show you how to remove these linkages, and then we'll go from there. Right, I'm back because my mum and dad has turned up, and they bought carrot cake. That's all I'm saying. Right, so we've got to remove this this governor arm spring. Just be mindful of where the auto choke and stuff all sits. Okay, guys. Now there's actually a hole there for a spring to go on, but these new ones don't have a spring. This just lifts up. Leave it out of the way. Put it over the back of the gasket if you can, so it's out of the way. And then you can then start to try just to draw this one out. Now this one here it should just literally just pop up. Okay, there's no sort of clip to hold it in place. It should just lift up very slightly. Just take it out. Be very careful with it, and then just put that out of the way. Okay, and then you can just retract your carburetor off of the machine. And then you want to take this gasket and block off if it comes off with it. There's a little tiny gasket here. There's a carb insulation block and another gasket. So just remove that and put that back on because we don't need that. That can go out of the way. So just push that back on so that's all complete. And that's our little carby. I'm going to show you very quickly in a minute how to remove all the fuel from your carburetor for winter preparation. And then we get on clean the carb anyway because it has got a small hunt, a very small hunt, and then we get on to do actual service. So let me get the mower out the way a bit and I'll come back to you in just 2 seconds. Right, so just want to quickly show you how you can drain the majority of the fuel and then all the fuel. Once your carburetor, let's say your carburetor is fitted to your machine, okay, to your mower, there's a little tiny 10mm nut or bolt just here. We can remove that one, okay? And that'll be in situ. You can just remove that little tiny nut and that will drain some of the fuel out. Okay? Now, you can put that back in, you know, once it's all drained out, that's fine. Put it all back in. And then install your lawnmower over the winter period. And you would like to think that that would do it, okay? Unfortunately, it's not quite true. Now, I don't know what size nuts they put on here now, because these are brand new ones. It's going to be about a 15 inch. It's not, it's a 14. So on the very, very bottom of these carburetors is an even bigger nut. On Hondas, they're all the same, they're a 10 mil. But on these new Mountfields, they're actually now a 14. But what we're going to do, oh, my phone's ringing. What you can actually do is you can actually remove this one here, okay? And by just giving that a quick little whack off, just to loosen it, you can then see when we remove that, there's a bit more fuel that comes out from that carburetor. Now that is the fuel that is going to be left in all winter. Now it's not a lot, but that's the fuel that's going to go bad. If you just remove this one, that bit of fuel is going to sit in your carb. So it pays to remove this one underneath. And by removing that, you can see you've got pretty much all of that fluid out of your carburetor. Right, so as we can see, this is actually in really good condition, but there's still, look, there's still just the smallest amount of fuel inside that bowl. There it is. That's the fuel that's going to hold you up. So it pays, even if your carburetor is in situ, okay, even if it's on the mower, around that way, there is still enough room for you to take that bowl nut off the bottom, remove the bowl, and let all the fuel drain from the tank and from the carb, okay? You can leave it there overnight. In fact, you could probably leave that there like that over winter. It's not going to really hurt it. But once it's fully drained out, put your bowl nut back on, or your bowl back on. Make sure it's well seated, and then put your bowl nuts back on, and your lawnmower should start with no problems at all next year, as long as you're using fresh fuel. Fresh fuel from the pump, not fresh fuel from your can, okay? So, with that now in mind, this carburetor is fantastic. It's done no work anyway, but it had a very, very small hunt, and I mean absolutely tiddly. Just going to try and remove this little tiny jet from here if I can. I'm not risking that for a biscuit. I'll get a proper screwdriver, Mick. So the last thing I want to do now is to break a brand new carburetor on a lawnmower that's only been used about 3 times. That would just about be my worst nightmare. I'm going to remove the jet. Out the carb. So it shouldn't really do anything, but the woman said it was hunting and surging, but it was only very, very slight. I got a feeling there's just a little bit of dirt in there, a little bit of crap that just made its way through from last year, and that was the reason why. I'm just going to inspect the emulsion tube, because they're running these new mowers so lean now, there's next to no holes in these emulsion tubes anymore. There's the main jet. Quick look in there. Yeah. So there is a hole. I can see the hole. Can you see the hole? I'm trying to get around for you so you can see a bit better. There's a hole. Yeah, got a hole in it. But all I'm going to do, I'm not going to open that hole up any, because people complain to me that, oh yeah, you're going to kill the environment by expanding holes and this, that, and the other. I'm only opening it a little tiny thread. You know, it's not like I'm going to open it up. You know, a million millimeters. I'm just literally just taking the bare essential off of the side of the jet, just to try and get it to run a bit, just a touch richer. Let me find my files. They are eluding me. Right, so we're back. Found my files. They were eluding me for a little while. Also, all I'm going to do, this jet, it has got a hole in it. It does look relatively clean. I'm going to make a little mental note of how clear that hole is. Can you see how clear that hole is? Yeah, I can just about see through it. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to find a file that fits through that hole. No, that one doesn't. Wow, they are running these really lean. I'm just literally going to put a bit of sideways pressure on this main jet. And all I'm going to be doing by achieving that is just literally just opening up. Oh, it's not even worth talking about how much we're opening this jet up. It's just a little tiny bit. It's just to allow just a little bit more fuel through. Then than what it had before. Now have a look at that hole there. Can you see that hole? Let me try and bring it up a touch, just so you can see. There you go. So there's the hole now. Now, you know, it looks to be about twice the size, but it's not. It's literally have just re-cleaned that wall up. That's all I've done. And it might have just taken just the smallest amount of stuff off. Here's the file, and you can see on this file, there's absolutely nothing on that file, brass-wise, to show that I've actually removed any product from it. Okay. So next, we're just going to give you a little tiny emulsion tube holes a bit of a poke. There's nothing in here. Cool. They are running these lean. My word. All right, there you go. That's your emulsion tube done. And now we're going to remove the slow running idle circuit. And this is the main reason for the hunting and surging. And we're going to lift up a little tiny pivot of the flathead driver. I'm going to remove it out. Just double check the O-rings are in place. And again, they've changed the O-rings. Wow, they're tiny, man. They're tiddly tiny. We're going to inspect in here for any dirt. There's nothing in there that causes any problems. And then all we're going to do is I've got these little tiny micro drills. I use them daily for exact reasons. These are from a company called Harcher Tools. These are thumb drills, okay? And go for the smallest one possible, that we do. And literally, all we're going to do is poke this inside this main jet. And it will go in, and it just feels a little tiny bit grabby actually. Now go very careful, because you do what I did the other week and you'll snap that. So all I'm doing again is I'm just using this drill bit just to gently file the wall on the inside diameter of that jet. That's all I'm actually doing. Just cleaning it up. Now if you're a bit dubious, you might bring it up to the next size if it'll go in. If it doesn't, you can't force it. Yeah, that'll go in lovely. Right, that's gone in. There you go, that's that drilled out. Right, get a bit of spray. And let's just put a bit of spray into there. And you can see how that's actually gone all the way through now. That's cleaning the main jet up. So that's good. Let's move on to the next step of actually cleaning the carburetor. Okay, carburetor now ready for cleaning. Pretty much, if there's a hole, or look at that bit of sludge out of there, look. If there's a hole, put it in. No matter, even if that hole goes nowhere, just put it in. And if you can see where it comes out, try and force it back the other way from where it came. Okay. That's weird. That's on a gasket. That's actually got a hole there, and that's actually just blanked off. It don't go nowhere. Weird. Don't know why you'd have a hole for a gasket then. And then this one here, this is hidden. Open the throttle up, and there's one inside here. And this one will go all the way into the slow idle running circuit. Okay. But what's vitally important is that you block that one off afterwards, and go back in there again, and it'll come out inside the carburetor throat itself. Okay, it's hard for me to show you because the cam wants to do that. And then you're going to go back in the centre. There's a hole down through the middle. You're going to go through the main feed. And back through again. So anywhere where you're putting fluid through, and you find where it comes from, you can then run that back the other way as well. Okay, that's that carburetor now cleaned. Okay, it's in fantastic condition anyway. There's a bit of grime in there, not a lot. We're going to pick up this slow idle circuit. That just goes back into its place, and it'll only go one of two ways. It goes like that orientation. Sink that down, make sure it sits and it's down fully. I'm going to get the screw, And we're just going to wind that screw in just behind it. And then do that one up. And you want to put that screw through so it's showing about 2 to 3 threads on the back side once it comes through. Because that'll be your idle. It's going to be about there. But we can adjust that later on if need be. Again, because I've been handling the carburetor, just a quick little spray. Make sure I haven't put anything in there that doesn't need to be in there. We're going to look at our needle. Make sure there's nothing on there. Because the ethanol will sit on there. And we're going to put that straight back into its little tiny home where it belongs. It actually lives inside the hole. And then we'll grab our float pin. And we're going to put our float pin through. The problem with these engines is that they are manufactured now to run so lean. Because they want you to go battery power. They want you to go battery power to stop using petrol. But just by opening that little jet up, just a thread, just a smidgen can just help you out a little tiny bit. But the best thing to do is stay away from that E10 fuel. Just steer well clear of it. Well seat that main jet. We're now going to put this bowl ring back on. Now just remember, this flooding screw will go opposite to the feed-in screw, to the feed-in part there, okay? So go in that orientation just like so. Just make sure it's well seated. The bowl is sat down, and then just get your bigger nut there. Bigger bolt, and just do that up just so it's nice and well seated. Then just do that up with a spanner. Okay, don't do that up with an impact. Again, you'll just double check this one's done up with a spanner as well and not with an impact. And that'll be your carburetor cleaned, ready for mounting back onto the lawnmower. Carburetor now ready to be fitted back onto the lawnmower. On it goes. First thing we'll do is we're going to hook up this automatic choke. Now all it does is just sits in this little tiny clip here. So mount your carburetor into place where it roughly goes, and then just offer this little tiny plastic clip straight into there, and make sure it's well seated as it needs to. Don't have it tilted back. It's got to be sat just right. It's got to be able to move. Okay, if you can. Then grab your governor. Hello, governor, and we're going to put the governor's arm back onto there where it belongs, and that's all in situ. Next, we're going to get our fuel pipe. We're going to hook the fuel pipe on over top, and then we're going to grab the gasket that come off. There's a gasket, and it only went on one way because it had a hole up there which doesn't do anything. That one does nothing. That doesn't even go on anything. And that one goes on that one there. We're going to grab our air box and just make sure that your crankcase breather pipe goes onto the back bit there or onto this bit just here. We're just going to situate that into place. So we know where it goes. First off, onto there, and then we're going to lower the airbox into position. And that's got 2 little tiny 10 mils. Hope you haven't lost them. I'm just going to run those little tiny 10 mils on. So this is in for a full service, but I'll be doing a service to this this lawnmower in a separate video. Okay. So this is a carburetor clean. Otherwise the video would be a fortnight long. Right, just going to whack them up just a touch, not a lot, just enough so it's well seated. Frightened to give it too much. We've got 2 filters to put back in. We've got our pre-filter here. That just sits in there, and we've got another filter here. Give it a quick little clean off. So this lawnmower's done absolutely no work at all. It's done nothing. That goes into there. No paper filters anymore, just foam ones. Into there and onto there. All I'm going to do now is just going to fill up this lawnmower with fuel, put some fuel in it, and take it outside and fire it up. So we'll see if it's not hunting and surge like it was beforehand. It wasn't a massive hunt and surge, but it was just a little tiny one. I have a sneaky suspicion it might have just sucked some up from last season and then sort of cleared itself, but it wasn't overly bad. But that there would be how you clean a carburetor. Let's take it outside and give it a bit of a run. Right, Mountfield HP41 now had a full carburetor service. Jet slightly rimmed out, not a lot, just a bit. Let's just fire it up. It shouldn't hunt and surge at all, really. Now you may be saying that's doing nothing different to what it did beforehand, Mick, because it's on choke. So we'll let it run for 5 minutes, but I'm convinced it's already sounding better already. It did have a very slight hunt and surge when it first came in, but it was only very slight, I must admit. And I have heard them really hunt and surge really heavily on these machines because they run so lean. But generally, rule of thumb, if you can get that that main jet just rimmed out slightly, they're so much better. So there you go. That is how you fully service, overhaul your carburetor. Get them to run a bit more richer is the key. Don't go mad, because if they go too rich, they run even worse. So just very, very gently, just tether that main jet. Nice little machine. This machine will now be warmed up. I'm doing a second part to this video on how to service your brand new lawnmower, and it is important to empty the oil out after about 5 hours of running. I will find out what the guidelines actually are for the manufacturer, but you'll see that in another video. Hopefully this video has helped you. If it has, then hit the old thumbs up button and whack the old subscribe button. Let us know that I've done a good job, done a bad job, don't really mind. But now on for service, and Miss Mel will go back to this lady hopefully this afternoon.